You mentioned a couple of Jordan's blocks. What have you seen from him recently that gave you confidence to put him in that spot? And what did you like about the way he played today?
I just thought we needed a boost, and I thought that every time we put him in, he's blocked a shot and came up with some loose balls. I think he's just got to get. He was in Maine for a long time. Then he had the ankle, so he's probably not as up to speed as he needs to be on some things that will get him up to speed on as he continues to be with us more and more. Hey, we're not overly deep at the big spot without Kelly, and so I texted him actually today and said you need to be ready to go at any time because it's there could be any time that those guys have to contribute and help us win a game.
I got the text earlier this morning. I read it about 10 times before I even got here. I just try to prepare myself to be ready for opportunity. You never know when you're going to be able to get in, when you're going to get the opportunity. It happened to be kind of early tonight. I was excited about it.
All right, so part 2, it is Mickey time. Finally, Jordan Mickey gets some crucial minutes.
Hey, Mickey, you're so fun. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to sing
that. Wrong song. So he played 7 minutes and 8 seconds in that second quarter run. They went on a big run with him in there. He had a couple nice blocks. He was one of 9 Celtics to have a block tonight, which was the most that they've had in 6 years. I think it was Taylor Snow from Celtics.com that had that one. Credit to him there. But Mickey, we got to see some nice stuff. He didn't look like a well put together rotation player yet, but he showed a lot of the signs that he could be a useful player.
Definitely. I mean, I thought he was as advertised. He was a presence down low. The Celtics needed a little spark, as I think Brad Stevens said after the game, and that's exactly what he provided. When he went into the game, they were down 11. When he left, I believe they were down 4. So, I mean, he was effective in there. I know they didn't go back to him later on in the game because they went small, but in his time there, I think he's obviously a guy that's not going to show up in the Jazz film because there's no film of the guy because he doesn't play. He hasn't played really all season. So for him to get that extended minutes was a nice little wrinkle, I think, in Brad Stevens' plan. And after the game, he's all smiles, said that he looked at he looked at Brad Stevens' text about 10 times, the one that told him, be ready to go. So I thought that was pretty funny to hear from him.
And it sounded like his response to Brad's text was, okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's it.
I think there may have been maybe a smiley face involved or something
maybe
like that.
Maybe like a poop emoji?
No, definitely not that.
No, he's too serious for that. What I liked about Mickey is...
He's tough.
Yeah. So with Mickey, it seemed like he was just kind of running some of the similar actions. He had maybe 4 or 5 things he knew how to do. He knew how to set a pick and then roll. He knew how to kind of stand on the block and then retreat as someone was crashing down the lane to either open up a passing opportunity or to get into a better position for a putback. Defensively, he was stepping up well. He was handling the pick and roll pretty well. He got caught out of position a few times. There was one time where he tried to run a pick and roll with Evan Turner, and then he ran into Evan Turner as he was rolling.
Not effective.
Yeah, that's not good execution. In a game in which Brad Stevens said both teams executed well, I guess, except for that one play.
Right. He's not at Trey Lyles level. I was really impressed with that rookie
in the first
on the
half,
other
at least.
In the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Lyles was really. I mean, in the second quarter, I think Lyles scored 7 straight. I mean, he was playing really well. But you can't expect that out of Mickey yet because, like we said, he hasn't really gotten that opportunity. I think
literally hasn't gotten that opportunity until tonight.
Literally, and I think he did. I think he played well enough that Brad Stevens is going to feel confident putting him in spots. I mean, this isn't going to be a guy that's going to all of a sudden play 20 minutes a game, but he can come in a situation. Maybe it's offense defense type thing where they want that body down low. They want that rim protection down low.
Okay, well, another guy that showed a few spots, a glimpse of what could be the future, is Marcus Smart, who has been incredible defensively this year. He's had a lot of good shooting nights, but we haven't really seen him put
Most
together.
of the time, he's incredible. There are some times where I'm not happy with it.
But he's been overall pretty impressive. The point guard part of his game, we saw it a little bit earlier this year. We haven't seen it much lately, but tonight we had a few nice plays. Most notable was that play where he got the rebound, I think, from Tyler Zeller, up-faked Rodney Hood away, and then drove the lane and threw a nice pass to Zeller, who had a huge slam. If you go to the Celtics Instagram page, and just an absolutely legendary photo of Zeller slamming it with every guy on the bench making the best face.
Hunter's like,
girl.
Salinger's just like.
Amir Johnson, you can see him through the sand. He's like.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. It was pretty great. But.
And that fired everybody up.
It did. Marcus made some nice plays. Overall, didn't have that good of a night.
I just think he didn't have a noteworthy night. I wouldn't say he had a bad night. I wouldn't say he had, he wasn't a guy they looked to, offensively. But he had a solid night, and he as Isaiah Thomas said to, I believe it was our good friend Kevin O'Connell, the game's coming slower to him. The game is coming a little bit slower, and we're starting to see that with some of the passes that he makes. Now, I think the game's going at 1,000 miles an hour sometimes for him when he doesn't like a call that a call doesn't go his way.
Or if he's flopping.
Or yeah, exactly. Or if he's flopping, I think that gets in his head. And I won't get into it right now because it didn't happen tonight, so I'm not going to harp on it. If Kevin was here, he would be backing up Smart. He's a big Smart guy.
I sat next to Kevin tonight. We talked about it a lot.
Okay,
he was backing him up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he backs him up. I criticize him in those moments because I love that Smart's an emotional guy. Those are the types of guy I like on the team, like Crowder and those guys. But when the emotion turns to frustration, we've seen that, in my opinion, we've seen that too many times from Smart. There have been multiple times this season where we've seen that. Most recently in Minnesota, the one that really stands out to me, where his emotions boil over into frustration and he does something that hurts the team. So I think he's gonna, he'll learn, he'll grow, he'll mature. He's still young. I'll give him time to do those things, but he is learning to become a point guard more as well. We are seeing that.
Luckily for them, he wasn't out there in crunch time to do anything bad, right? So
that's right.
But seriously, Avery Bradley just had another great game. He did it all around. Huge performance for him. And
that's coming off a game where he hurt his ankle. So who knows how he was really feeling tonight. I mean, I know he said before the game that really hurt on Saturday, but he's a guy he's toughing it out. I know the knock on him was that he could stay healthy, but I mean, he's a tough guy, and he'll if he can play, he'll play. And I think that goes for pretty much everybody on this team. We saw, I think tonight, against this Jazz team, like, these guys fought for 48 minutes. I mean, they were consistently down the whole game, and they never let it get away. They kept clawing back, and once they got the taste of that lead again, they didn't want to lose that, even though the Jazz did fight back as well. I mean, they pulled it off in the end.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to download Grandstand from clnsradio.com/Grandstand app. It is the greatest app in the history of apps. It's transformed the entire universe. So go do it.
I got it.
For Jimmy, I'm Jared. Please like the show on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube.
Please like it in real life, too.
Like it in real. You know what? I had a fan come up to me in the locker room at my gym recently. You know what? Come up to me in locker rooms everywhere.
Yeah, right.
If you see me in the locker room, come up to me, say hi, and I'll tell you to subscribe to the show on YouTube. And interact with us, tweet with us. We don't hear enough from the fans. They're only approaching me in locker rooms.
Come up to me, not at the gym though. I'm in the zone.
Okay. He's in the freaking zone, bro. Well, I'm getting out of the zone, so let's do it.
All right,
Garden report right here. Cut it.
How impressed are you by Marcus Smart's progress in the pick and roll?
Things are slowing down for him. He's learning how to read the pick and roll and learning when to be aggressive for himself and when to make a play for somebody else. He works hard. I mean, he's a guy that's in the gym and wants to learn, and that says a lot about him.